Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you my top 3 resources for finding and researching dividend-paying stocks and dividend-paying ETFs. A dividend is a sum of money that a company pays out to its investors. So it's a great way for investors to earn passive income because they're essentially being paid to invest in that company. There are some facts I want us to keep in mind throughout this video. So the first thing is not all companies and not all ETFs pay dividends, and those that do pay dividends on a quarterly, yearly, or biannual basis. And the second thing, and this is really important, the dividend amount that you get, the sum amount that you get depends on the dividend yield of that stock. So for example, if a company is paying out dividends, it will have what is called a dividend yield. The dividend yield is essentially a percentage of the amount that the company pays out in dividends relative to the share price. So for example, if a company is paying out $15 per share in dividends and their stock price is $300, that means that the dividend yield is 5%. It's really important to pay attention to the dividend yield because the higher the dividend yield, the better or the more you actually get as a sum amount when you get paid out for your dividends. And lastly, as great as dividends are in helping you earn passive income, they do attract dividend tax. So this is not tax-free income in any way. If you are in South Africa, for example, you'll be paying 20% in dividend tax for the dividends that you earn. So these are all things that you need to keep in mind as you think about investing in dividends and incorporating them into your investment portfolio. The first resource I want to speak about is ETF Central. This is such a great place for anyone looking to invest in exchange traded funds. It literally houses and lists all the ETFs available to South African investors. And a really great thing about this is it will also allow you to filter by ETFs that offer dividend payouts. It will give you the name of the ETF that offers the dividend payout, the yield, the dividend yield that ETF has, as well as the last time that ETF paid out dividends, because companies can stop paying dividends at any time. And on top of that, it will also give you information on the frequency at which they actually pay out dividends. So if they pay out dividends quarterly, yearly, biannually, it will give you all that information right there on that list. Another thing that is really cool about this platform is that it will also give you information on the total expense ratio. And you guys know expenses, fees are really important to keep in mind when you're deciding whether or not to invest in something. So I like the fact that they actually list these right there for you to view and consider before you decide to make an investment. And you can also click off on those ETFs to get more information about those ETFs. So it will give you details that you would find in a minimum disclosure document, making it much easier for you to actually work on that one platform to not only find your dividend paying ETFs, but to also research as well. The next resource I want to share with you is the NASDAQ dividend calendar. If you're like me, you like knowing when you're going to get paid your dividends, you like to organize them. And if you're really hardcore when it comes to increasing your dividend income, this can help you really get organized and understand how much you can expect to earn in dividends per year, per quarter, for example. So it'll give you details of the dividend paying company, when they pay dividends, and also when the next dividend is going to be paid out. And it will also tell you if a company has stopped paying dividends temporarily or whether or not they have paid their last dividends. And this is really important information so that you know if that company is reliable when it comes to paying dividends, especially if this is a really important thing for you. You want to make sure that the company does pay dividends, and also see the history of how often and how frequently in the past they have paid out those dividends. I really like the Nasdaq dividend calendar because it just makes it so much easier to see on a high level which companies and when they will be paying out dividends. The next resource that you can use to find and research dividend paying stocks is the Simple Wall Street app. You can download this on the Play Store or on the App Store. It's a really great app that gives you access to different stock exchanges. For example, the New York Stock Exchange, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the Australian Stock Exchange, and it will list all the different companies. When you filter to find the companies that pay dividends, it will list all of those companies for you and give you information that you need in order for you to make a decision on whether or not you would like to invest in those specific companies. The really great thing about this app is that not only does it list all of those dividend paying stocks, but it also gives you the opportunity to dig in deeper into those specific companies to learn more about them so that you can make a more informed decision. So it'll give you information such as the operating margin, the gross income margin, the net income margin, the return on investment, and obviously you want to know those numbers, you want to understand them so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Of course, the higher those numbers are, the better. But it's really nice because it's really nicely packaged within that app, and you can find all of that information in the app without having to go out of the app and look elsewhere. But you will want to make sure that you double check the information that you get on the app with other sources as well. So you can use sources like MoneyWeb, for example, to find out the latest information as well, and to compare the information that you get on the Simple Wall Street app with what you get on other resources or even on that individual company's website. When you're looking for dividend paying stocks and ETFs, you'll notice that some investments seem to have a really high dividend yield. You need to keep in mind that companies might increase their dividend yield as a way to promote the company and get more people investing in the company if the share price has been struggling for a while. So you want to make sure you understand why the dividend yield is where it's at and if that makes sense. Another thing to keep in mind as well is that REITs, real estate investment trusts, will have a really high dividend yield because they're just legally obligated to share most of their income with investors. So it's going to give you a really high dividend yield when you invest in REITs as compared to when you invest in individual company stocks or an ETF. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, comment down below, and also subscribe so you don't miss my next video where I'll be sharing with you how to invest in government bonds in South Africa. Because right now the interest rates on South African government bonds is looking really, really good. And as always, if you watched until the end, make sure to leave me a yellow heart in the comments so I know. It always makes me feel good. It makes my day. So make sure to leave that yellow heart in the comments, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.